Hey ladies. So, sorry, I'm trying to sit somewhere where I could keep my phone plugged into a charger and have good light. And now I'm kind of wonky. I was planning on going live tomorrow and sort of like giving y'all a heads up that I was going to do this video. But I decided I wanted to just go ahead and do the video today because while what's on my heart is on my heart, I feel like I need to just share this message and just go ahead and get it out there and not wait till tomorrow. So that being said, I am going to jump right into what I want to share, and I hope that if y'all hop on, you will say hi and let me know that you can hear me, because I'm trying to use my earbuds so that you can hear me better than normal, than if I don't use my earbud. Anyway, so today I wanted to ask the question, do you really want to change? So this is a hard question. This is a hard subject all around, but it's just something that I've been thinking about, and I feel like because it's something that I have wrestled with, that you might have wrestled with it too, or might be wrestling with it now. So I would like for you to hear me out, bear with me, before you come to my house and punch me in the throat for saying the things I'm about to say. So when I ask, do you want to change? Okay, so if I plan too much ahead of what it is that I want to share with y'all, it feels like it starts to get kind of inauthentic, something like that. Anyway, I start to feel like I fill in all of this information that's it's just too much. So I really would rather just go off the cuff and just chat with y'all about what's on my mind and what's on my heart, and hopefully you'll get what I'm trying to say, and I can come back to it later and fill in the blanks if I miss anything. I just wanted to, that's my disclaimer for this video. So, okay. So first of all, when I ask, do you really want to change? So I'm going to give an example as best I can that is any example of how we make decisions about changing things in our life when it's compared to change as it comes to grief is going to be inadequate, right? Like there's nothing you can compare it to. There's nothing you can compare in grief, in the real world, if you will, that holds any water. But I'm going to do this anyway, so bear with me. So think about whenever you want to lose weight. And because that has been my area of expertise for a long time, helping people lose weight, I've helped hundreds of people lose weight, that's where I'm going to go for my example. So what I was thinking of, hopefully this will make sense. What I was thinking of is, so I've helped hundreds of people, men and women, lose weight. I was wondering how many of those people, if I went back and like checked in with all the people that I've ever helped lose weight, how many of them kept it off? Not very many, probably. And you think about people that New Year's resolutions, you know, it's coming, springtime, it's getting ready to go on summer vacation, there's a wedding or whatever, and we crash diet and we make changes temporarily because we have a specific goal in mind, and after that we're just going to let loose again, right? Only because there's some specific event or some reason that we feel like we need to make a change do we hunker down, kill ourselves to make that change, and then after the event we give up again. Okay, so of course, sorry, got a phone call. So where was I? Sorry, I got distracted by my phone call. So think of those times. Think of those times when you've started something and you've had to make these changes and you've given up because it was too hard, or your reason for doing it wasn't a very big reason, or a big enough reason for change. For us to have a reason to change, and I don't mean temporarily change, I mean to make solid long-term changes, we have to have a solid reason. We have to have a really good reason why. Otherwise, we're not going to be committed to the things that you have to do every day to make the changes, to make them a habit, to make them stick. Okay? You have to have a strong belief in why you're changing and what your goals are. So using that weight loss analogy is what sort of felt relatable, if you will. Relatable to, we all understand what it's like to do the things and make the changes. And granted, I'm not talking about the kind of changes that I teach are less painful and easier to implement and stick with long term. But you and I know, we're familiar with the crash diets and the working out at the gym like a crazy person until you just give up completely because it's too hard to maintain. Okay, so when it comes to grief, and I ask, do you want to change? Obviously, we cannot change our situation, right? We cannot bring the person that we love back from the dead. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about pretending that the person's not dead anymore or pretending they never existed, because that's not the answer, and pretending like that is just going to keep us stuck or cause us to be even in more pain and be more destructive with our behavior. So my example that I'm going to give you of myself is there have been many, many times that I felt like I was betraying my daughter on the days that I feel better, on the days that I feel like I had a good day. Okay. My belief was, if I act like I'm happy, if I smile or if I laugh, people around me are going to think I'm fine. They're going to think I don't miss her. They're going to think I'm okay that she's dead. They're going to think it's okay for them to forget her. Like, does that sound like something that's familiar to you? I mean, because when I say it out loud, like if you're sitting there having this conversation with me, obviously nobody's going to forget that she's dead, right? And the more I thought about it, because it's just like everything else, what other people think of you is none of your business. And this is all going to come full circle, hopefully, because I feel like I'm kind of scattered. When I talk about it not being other people's business, or not being your business, what other people think of you, there is a certain extent where, yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, they do have some accountability to you. If they're people that love you, and they love, whether they did or didn't know your loved one who died, they do have a responsibility to you to treat you with love and compassion, right? So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they don't have to do that. I'm saying that regardless of their actions, right, it's up to you to decide if you want to heal. It's up to me to decide if I want to heal. Because I can walk around with a sad face. I can walk around and tell people that I'm miserable if I want to, but not only does that not make me feel any better, I mean, it's not making anything better for me to try to make them feel worse or make them feel guilty, right? Okay. So I've had to overcome feeling that I was betraying my child by having a good day. Like, it's work. It's work because it feels crazy, right? There's such there's a pull from both sides. There's such a pull that you want to feel better, but at the same time, you don't want to feel better because it almost feels like holding on to that pain is the last connection that we have, right? So this is something that I preach all the time. It's about changing our beliefs, changing our thoughts so that we can turn our painful beliefs into peaceful beliefs, so that we can turn our sadness into gratitude, right? So my question to you is, do you want to change? If not, that's cool. That's fine. This is not me like saying everybody's got to change, everybody's got to do what I'm saying. But if you are sitting here and you're thinking, yes, I want to change. Yes, I'm tired of being miserable, right? Think about the times that you've done something else that you thought you were ready to change. Think about the times that you've committed to a diet. Think about the times that you've committed to an exercise program. What was your reason for it? And did you have the willpower? Did you have the whatever to stick with it? And then after you reached your goal, you still maintain those changes, or did you fall back into old habits? It is a very similar thing to fall back into old habits when we are trying to climb out of grief and figure out who we are now and figure out what we think and feel now, right? And figure out how we can live a peaceful, happy life and still be able to honor our loved ones and still be able to show those around us that we are never going to forget them, we're never going to stop missing them, and we're never going to stop loving them, but that we are capable of finding peace and joy and fulfillment now, right? So that we can actually be a shining light that honors our loved one. So, let me think. My brain. I told y'all, I just didn't really think it through. All these thoughts were in my brain, and I was like, forget it. I'm not going to try and plan it for tomorrow. I'm just going to go for it. So I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. I would love some comments. If you're watching the replay later, let me know if you're getting this. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a few tips, because I don't leave you with just like a slap in the face question and then be like, yeah, go think about that. Good luck. I don't do that. Y'all, I'm feeling kind of crazy today. It's hot. It's hot in Florida. Okay, so ways that we change our thoughts and beliefs. So I have a few tips. That I did actually jot down. Hopefully they'll make sense. All right, so here's the first one. So instead of me saying just let go, right? Just let go of your bad feelings or let go of your thoughts or whatever. Instead of saying that, how about we can focus on what we want to let in? So what is it? I don't even know what that says. I'm not sure what I wrote down. My handwriting's terrible. What do you want to be inspired by? What do you want to inspire? So if you are wanting to have less days that you struggle to get out of bed every day, what is it that you can do to make that happen? Instead of just focusing on, man, every day I wake up and I'm so sad and it takes me forever to get out of the bed and I'm just miserable, and just thinking about how miserable you are. Instead, picking something that you can focus on, that you can add in that can counteract that, right? So adding in something that you do when you first wake up in the morning that grounds you, that centers you, that gives you something peaceful and happy to look forward to. For me, it's my daily meditation when I first open my eyes, when I first wake up. I go through this meditation so that I start my brain, as soon as it wakes up, I start my brain on a track of positivity rather than letting it go down that rabbit trail that it's normally going down. So that's one thing. Okay. Another thing is avoiding all or nothing thinking. Again, when we're trying to make changes, and this applies to everything in our lives, right? But think about how many times you say always or never. I will never be happy again. I will always be miserable. Or I will never be skinny. I will always be fat. Those are those are just the only examples I'm going to give. But instead of thinking that way, to just tweaking when a thought hits you, paying attention, which I've talked about this before, pay attention to the thought that just popped into your mind. Why am I thinking that? Where did it come from? Why do I believe that, right? So when you have that all or nothing thought, pausing and stopping and changing it right there. Instead of me saying, I will always be sad, I can change that. I will not always be sad. I can just add the word not. I will not always be sad. Because the more that I say things like that, the more power I give myself to be able to choose joy, to be able to change my focus of sadness into gratitude that my daughter is still my daughter, and I had her for as long as I had her here, and I have the opportunity to see her again one day. Anyway, okay, so avoid all or nothing thinking. All right, another thing is talking to yourself the way that your best friend would talk to you. So if you have a best friend, would she say things to you that you say to yourself. Again, we call ourselves fat, we say that we'll never be happy, we say that we'll always, be miserable, we say that we're not good enough. Think about all the things that we say to ourselves. You wouldn't say that to your best friend, and your best friend wouldn't say that to you, right? So when you hear yourself saying these things, and knowing that you don't want to have these thoughts anymore, stop yourself. Would my best friend say this to me? And if the answer is no, stop saying it to yourself, right? It's just like changing the all or nothing thinking. It's just like changing it's just like adding in something positive rather than dwelling on the thing that you're trying to get rid of. Okay. So celebrate how far you've already come. And this seems crazy. We're all crazy here, right? This seems crazy. Celebrate how far you've come. Did you get out of bed today? Right? You got yourself out of bed today. Give yourself a gold star for that. Because not everybody does. Not everybody chooses to while, after someone has died. Not everybody chooses to get out of bed every day. Not everybody chooses to get up and make breakfast for, the rest of the people that live in their house. Not everybody chooses to go to work. Not everybody chooses whatever. What have you chosen to do? Celebrate that. Instead of looking at how far you have left to go. Just like say you want to lose 50 pounds, right? And you lose a pound and you're like, ugh, I still have 49 pounds to lose. Instead of celebrating that 1 pound that you did lose, right? So give yourself credit for the steps that you've already made, no matter how small. Find something to be grateful for. That's along those same lines. Find something to be grateful for. So like I always say, especially when I'm really hit hard with missing Cassie, I have to go through a whole long list of things I'm grateful for that are about her. Memories that I have with her, and the fact that I am her mama, and I have that title, right? And that nobody else gets to say that she called them mama, because she was mine, and she's still mine. So changing and finding those things to be grateful for, and like I said in another video, kind of writing things like that down, stick it in your pocket, say it over and over and over again, so that you can say it. It'll just sort of pop into your brain instantly and pull you out of a negative thought. And that's another thing. That was another thing I was going to say. Do something to interrupt the negative thinking. All of these things kind of go together, but they're all a little tiny bit different. So doing something to interrupt the negative thinking. There's a million things to do, when you start spiraling down that negative thinking. And one of them, of course, is, is saying something of gratitude, saying an affirmation, as far as trying to break your thoughts, but also doing something. Do you need to grab your journal and just start writing it down, just letting it all out, letting it flow, and also writing in some gratitude as well? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to change your surroundings? Do you need to get out of your house, or do you need to, wherever you're at, do you need to leave where you're at and go home? Doing anything, something to interrupt that negative thinking. So I want to also say that these things that I have learned and these things that I implement, I did not figure this out on my own. I had to get help. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that I help my clients do. Whatever physical goals you have, whatever other, that's another word I was trying to think of. It'll come to me. Whatever other goals that you have, everything we do has to start with our mindset. And so that's why I talk about that more than anything, is changing our mindset, digging into our beliefs and our thoughts, and figuring out why we believe it, why we think it, and how to help it, how to work it into a different pattern. These are the things that I do for my clients. And I'm asking you, do you want to change? Do you want to change how you think and how you feel? Do you want to stop unhealthy behaviors and replace them with healthy behaviors? So this is my challenge to you. So before you, like, come to my house with pitchforks, stop and think. Like, if this is feeling like you're like getting uncomfortable because I'm kind of trying to call you out and say, I feel like maybe you're making excuses for why you can't change, or whatever it is that you're thinking. We can change anything. We can change how we think, we can change how we feel, we can change how we behave. We can't change other people, right? A lot of circumstances we can't change. But we have control over ourselves. We have the ability to make the choices to move in the direction that we want to go. And it's up to us to make that decision. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I hope that y'all are having a great day today. In one way or another, I hope that you're finding a way to take good care of yourself today. And I would love for you to put in the comments below when you watch this replay. Give me your thoughts about everything I talked about today, and also let me know something that you're doing today to take care of yourself. And you can pop a comment or shoot me a private message if you are ready to set up a time to chat with me. And we can see if we can break you out of a place that you're stuck, and maybe find out if we're a good fit to actually work together. That's all I got for you today. I love y'all so much. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.